Hello guys, Rox here. I know this video is gonna be long, but I promise you it will fully prepare you for what's coming in the Chapter 3 of Dune Awakening. So let's begin. The overland map is now smaller and easier to navigate, meaning the travel distance to reach places got reduced. So time saving equals a win for everyone. There are 3 nice changes to the radiation. We have a new radiation warning in our UI. You'll also get a radiation sound effect, or at least one that is more noticeable than before when you enter radiated areas. And also, now the radiation suite's durability will decrease much slower while you are being affected by radiation, independently if it's MK4, 5, 6 or higher. Whenever you break the enemy's poise, now it will be noticeable on its shield. As you can see on screen, you will have this glowy wave-like effect. This serves to let you know that you broke the enemy's poise and that you have an opportunity to strike. Your Ornithopter wings will now leave a wind trail, which gives you a better sense of speed and looks pretty nice too. Sniper rifle sound feels more powerful when firing. A small icon was added to your enemy camps in your Egabazin map, and this icon basically serves to let you know that you didn't grab all the intel from those camps. So this way it will be much easier to find which camps you are still missing. The personal light got a massive buff, and now it's like a mini light robot that follows you everywhere. And it not only follows you, but also illuminates the area according to where your camera is facing. And as you can see before, you could barely see anything, but now the nights can look like days. And now you'll be able to see more information about your weapons by simply passing the cursor on your weapons, and you'll be able to see the damage it does against non-shielded and shielded enemies, the magazine size, reload speed, parrying stamina cost, etc. I'll keep this one very brief since it's still on the works, so things might change. As you know, you'll be able to transfer your character between servers by using these tokens right here. I don't know if these tokens will get refreshed over the time, or if after depleting all of them you will need to purchase tickets with a microtransaction or something, but these tickets that you get for free, together with the server merging, should already be more than enough for those who still wish to change servers. An important reminder here is to store your base with your base backup tool before you transfer your character to another server. But if somehow you completely forget to do that, that's why we'll have a bunch of tickets to use for free, so you can go back to your old server, back up your base, and then transfer your character. But when transferring your character, you should get a warning to back up your base before doing the character transfer, or at least it should be implemented. And there is also a change to the skill points reset, and now you can reset your skill points every day as many times as you want. But there is a catch. The first time that you reset, it will be free of cost, but every consecutive time that you reset on that same day, it will cost you additionally 5 spice melange, which will keep getting doubled up every reset that you make on that same day. So 5, 10, 20, etc. And on the next day it resets and goes back to costing 0 the first reset. So now you can reset your skills as many times as you want, as long as you have the spice melange. Before we could only reset our skills once every 48 hours. Now let's talk about the most important thing that will come in Chapter 3, which is how you can participate in the new Landsraad Missions. Just like before, to participate in the Landsraad, you'll have to be in a guild affiliated with a faction of your choice, which for now it's either Atreides or the Harkonnen. Quick reminder that you can create solo guilds, and it costs only 1000 Solaris. And being part of a guild which is affiliated with a faction will be way more important than it was before. Because for these new testing stations, you'll be able to increase their difficulty level to get better quality rewards. And this difficulty level will be gatekept by your faction rank. This means you'll have to keep increasing your faction rank if your plan is to go as high as you can in these new testing stations to get better quality rewards. To unlock the Landsraad Missions, Specializations, and to increase your faction rank, you'll have to do the following process. Step 1. Go to Anvil Trade Post and complete the Atreides/Harkonnen chain quests according to your faction of choice. I have a video for each faction quest chain in the channel, so you don't get lost and waste as less time as possible. And after you complete that chain quest until the end, you'll be at level 5 on your faction. By the way, make sure that you are in a guild by now and affiliate your guild with your respective faction. You can affiliate your guild with a single click in your Landsraad menu. Step 2 is the most important step to begin your endgame journey. Once you have your faction on level 5, when the chapter 3 comes out, you will be able to do a new faction quest, and this step is crucial, because you will need to do this quest to be able to accept the Landsraad Missions and also to unlock your specializations, else you simply don't have access to neither of them. I'm pretty sure we will either automatically receive this quest if you are level 5 in your faction, as soon as you open the game for the first time on chapter 3, or if we don't get it automatically, you travel to Arakin or Arco village according to your faction and the quest should pop up automatically. And after you complete that quest, that's when you unlock the endgame. And step 3, all of your Landsraad missions will give you faction XP. And your faction level will now go up to level 20, which is the new max level. When you reach to level 19 on your faction and you get stuck and cannot go to level 20, you'll probably need to complete a final quest which might pop up automatically. And when you complete it, you will get to level 20. This said, you'll need to keep doing a bunch of Landsraad missions to keep increasing your faction level, getting juicy faction rewards along the way from your faction NPCs, and of course allowing you to increase your testing station's difficulty so you can get better loot. So as you see, doing the Landsraad missions will be a mandatory thing for you to do in the game, let's say, as doing them will give you everything you need for your endgame related stuff, and this is where your specializations enter. The specializations are passive buffs that you can purchase for your character using Spice Melange, and these buffs stay permanently active all the time. Some will be free, so these ones activate automatically if you have the necessary level/XP, and the others will need to be purchased using Spice Melange. So on path of doing your Landsraad missions, you'll also have to grab spice and refine it into the fancy Spice Melange. In simple words, major buffs will cost Spice Melange, and the minor buffs you get them automatically for free, but just because they are free it doesn't mean that they are bad or weak, as they are actually pretty good, and since they stack, the further you go, the better it gets. Just to clarify, in case you didn't notice, these icons right here in the Landsraad houses are basically the specializations related to those houses on that week. Quick example, for this week the house Ekaz is related to the crafting specialization. Next week it could be related to sabotage specialization, or even the same one again. So in simple words, when you accept a crafting specialization mission, for example, you'll be able to select the available houses at that time. And if the house is not unlocked/revealed yet, you cannot pick to represent that house. Although you can complete the same Landsraad mission multiple times during the week to increase your contribution and eventually conquer that house, you will only earn Specialization XP, House Scrip, which we'll get there later on in the video, and Faction XP if you use a coupon. We'll call these things coupons for simplicity. Else you just get the normal contribution, which is your voting power and the points that you need to conquer the houses, Solaris, and Character XP. You get 5 of these coupons per day, and they will accumulate until you reach the limit of 35, I don't know how to say this, of 35. Keep in mind that due to the missions having a cooldown, which I will talk about it in a moment, or I might have understood wrong, and the 16 hours cooldown only applies to shared missions, and you can infinitely repeat the missions without any cooldown. At least is how it is right now for me. So if the 16 hours cooldown only applies to shared missions, then yes, you can even spend 35 coupons in a single day. Or you can simply view these 5 coupons that you get per day as 5 daily missions. Or even make a schedule and do the missions on Wednesdays and in your weekends, for example. Organize yourself to your preference. Now a very important note, 35 is the max cap. So if you hit the cap and you don't do missions, you are losing on Specialization XP, Faction XP, and even House Script. And before I forget, House Script is the new Landsraad currency that you can use in the Atreides/Harkonnen faction vendors, and you can also use it in the Landsraad vendors in Arakin or Arco village to buy cosmetics and resources. But keep in mind that for the faction related stuff, you will need to keep leveling up your faction so you can buy new things. So keep on grinding. Now back to Landsraad missions, go prepared because the NPCs are just like those tough ones from the deep desert. And by the way, if you are short on time, you can even accept missions that are in the same location in purpose, even if they are from different specializations, so you save time along the road. Just remember to come play when you are about to hit the coupons cap for more efficiency. Although it's more interactive to accept missions from this Landsraad menu, before you accept them, remember to check what are the house contribution rewards, as some of these rewards can be really good. So this way, it will be better for you to represent a specific house instead of picking a house randomly. And remember that this is still the Landsraad, so if your faction is close to secure an house, maybe it's better to do missions for that house, to push and guarantee a point in your faction's favor. And also remember about the Scissor Rat's winning condition, where if you make an horizontal, vertical or diagonal line of 5 houses, first in your opposing faction, you automatically win that week's Landsraad even if you end up losing 20-5. And to know where you need to go for your Landsraad missions, simply click in your mission, scroll down a little bit, and this will show you where you need to go. And by the way, you'll be doing all these new Landsraad missions through your Overland map. Then simply come to Overland, don't mind if I say Overworld sometimes, and press M, click on these icons right here, they act as filters, and just go to the locations where you have missions on them. Or you can literally pass the cursor over the locations without clicking the filters, and see in which ones you have a mission on. And the last 3 points about missions is 1. When you complete one mission, it will have a 16 hours cooldown, meaning you can only do that same mission after 16 hours. This mission cooldown is basically to prevent people from instantly capturing the houses in the Landsraad, since when you complete a mission you get contribution points for that house that you selected to represent. 2. You can share your missions with your party members as long as they have a free space for them, or if that mission is not on cooldown, of course. Remember that you can have 3 missions at the same time, and once a party member completes a mission, it will also count to you.
What are you doing?
Huh? Me? Just hanging around.
So you can either go together to complete the mission faster and easier, or you can simply split up and having each party member going to a different location and do the 3 missions at once. Then accept 3 new missions, share and repeat. Teamwork equals efficiency. And number 3, you can abandon any mission if you regret picking it, or if you wanna make space so your friend can share a mission with you, or if you want to simply pick a different mission. Abandoning a mission has 1 hour cooldown, before you can abandon another one. I wanna leave a very important note right here guys, as some of these missions will require you to craft items that you never heard about. And these items will automatically be unlocked for crafting when you visit these new areas. Then you can simply open your quick crafting menu and you'll find them in there. And in some missions, only when you craft those items, the quest markers will appear, so you don't get lost doing your missions. 4 improvised quick tips that come out of my mind right now. If the NPCs are too strong for you, put your shield and go straight to the point and get out of there as soon as possible. If you don't want to bring a water flask so you have the free max volume in you to carry more stuff, since you'll be traveling a lot in Overland map, you can simply go in and out of Arakin or Arco Village, and that way you'll be max water. The sabotage specializations grant you reduced enemy detection. Might be useless for most people, but to do this quest, I personally think this might be extremely helpful for some people. And although this is not a priority passive to get, as there are more important buffs, if you are struggling, just remember about this one, as you can do the missions without getting noticed. And speaking of missions, there will be missions that will require you to bring a sand bike or a tread wheel. And since you'll be traveling a lot with your Ornithopter overlands, remember beforehand to store your bike or tread wheel in your vehicle backup tool. To exit these new areas, you simply need to go to where your Ornithopter will be, and it will be covered with a huge tarp like shown on screen. And if you are like me and you get lost easily and you don't know where your shopper is, especially at the first times in these areas, instead of having a shopper icon in the UI, you can follow this icon instead, as it's basically your shopper location and your exit. Specializations wise, they are gatekept along with your faction rank, and being gatekept means that you are forced to wait for the next day so you can keep progressing in the game. Since we'll be getting 5 coupons per day up to a maximum stock limit of 35, we'll have to keep playing the game consistently throughout the year/years to eventually maximize our character. In the developer stream, they said we should need around 1 year to max out all specializations. It's a long road, I know, but the time does fly. And although you should prioritize which specializations are more handy for yourself, you can have all of them maxed out in the end, so no need to worry much about committing mistakes. As long as you keep playing the game, you'll be perfectly fine. Keep in mind that you don't need to consistently play the game every single day in a row, as the XP/levels you will get to your specializations accumulate. So it's fine if you miss a day or even take a couple days off. And unlike your skills, you do not have the option to reset your specializations, as you don't even need to, since like I said before, they accumulate permanently. So just keep playing the game at your own pacing without any pressure from anyone. And of course, it also doesn't mean that you have to max all of the specializations, especially if you don't have the free time. Much less you have to copy or follow a person's quote-to-quote meta, so my advice for you is to pan around the specializations, see which passives they give you, and prioritize the ones that suit you the most. Like if you want more inventory slots, more skill points, more augment slots, etc. And still on priority picking, it also means that you can pick your desired passive first. What I mean with this is that you do not need to purchase them by order. For example, you don't need to buy the first, the second, the third. You can simply buy the last passive as your first one, and then the middle one can be your second, and so on. You have the freedom to pick whatever you want first, especially if you are low on Spice Melange. But do go farm spice and refine it into Spice Melange, so you can purchase everything that you can and your character gets stronger, and also have a easier life in the tough world that is Arrakis. So the more consistently that you keep doing your dailies/weekly Landsraad missions, when I say weekly is that if you just decide to play one single day and spend those 35 coupons on that day, and keep spending your coupons without letting them surpass the 35 limit, the faster you'll be able to max out your specializations, as you will not have wasted XP. Just remember that there are 5 different specializations and each of them goes to level 100. And to level up your specializations, you do so by doing the Landsraad missions. And you win XP for them according to the mission type that you picked. So if you pick a crafting mission, you'll get crafting specialization XP. And if you pick a combat mission, you'll get combat specialization XP, and so on. I'm gonna show on screen the buffs that you should expect from each specialization, and to save time from this video because it's pretty long and I don't wanna bore you guys. So pause this part if you need, I'll also give you a couple seconds. Here's the crafting ones. Here's the ones for gathering. Here's the ones for exploration. Combat specialization, and sabotage specialization. A curiosity is that the minor buff is equal for each specialization, respectively. For example, the minor buff for crafting gives you 1% crafted item durability, and it goes up to around 60% in total. While the exploration minor buff will give you plus 1% inventory volume up to around 60%. As for the Spice Melange cost for the specialization, to max out the specialization you will need around 750 Spice Melange. And to max out the 5 specializations you will need a total of 3750 Spice Melange. So to feel cheaper for you, pick the specializations that are more fitting for you first, as a priority, and eventually, if that's your plan, you'll have all of them maxed out along your journey. My advice for you about specializations is that since the first specializations levels require less experience to level up, it also means that you can get a bunch of nice buffs for your character for a low effort. And then you can start focusing in the ones that you want. The augments are modifiers that you can add to your MK6 and higher unique weapons and armors, which will grant you passive stats, sometimes at the cost of other stats, so your items can get better, yet balanced. Each item will have a certain limit of augment sockets and you can unlock more sockets with your crafting specialization. Just like the uniques, they are schematics that you need to find, learn and craft before you can apply them to your unique MK6 Plus weapons and armors. And you can find these augment schematics and their respective crafting materials by doing the new testing stations, which you can find them in the Overland map. And the higher the station level, the higher the augment grades that you can get. Thankfully, it shouldn't be hard for you to get a bunch of augment schematics, as you don't have cooldowns for the drops in these new stations, and you can also get a couple of them on each run. So feel free to keep repeating the stations and increasing the difficulty to get even better drop rates, and you will be swimming in augment schematics in no time. And like I mentioned slightly before, the augments have 5 grades, and the higher the grade, the better the stats that they will give you. And by the way, this slices right here indicates the grading of that augment. So one slice represents grade 1, 2 slices is grade 2, and so on. After finding your augment schematics, you will need to craft them, and they will require a new resource called Regis Components, which you can craft it at the Advanced Survival Fabricator, together with a bunch of other resources that already existed in the game. I suggest you to do the new quests that you will automatically get, as they will work as an introduction to understanding how this new stuff works. And by the way, you can get this off-world Regis compound by purchasing them from the Landsraad vendors, or buying them from players in the marketplace. And after you have all the resources required to craft your augments, you need to go to their respective fabricators. The Advanced Weapon Fabricators is where you craft your augments for your weapons, and the Advanced Garment Fabricator is where you craft the augments for your armor. And finally, you can equip your augments in the new Augment Station. For curiosity, as you see in this video, you can even place augments in broken items that need to be repaired, and they will still lose the overall durability, which is one of the downsides of adding augments to your items. They will lose 5 max durability whenever you add an augment to your item, but it's always worthy because your items will eventually have more durability than they had before, and they will also lose less durability with repairs if you level up your crafting specialization. Simple words, your items will be stronger and last longer. Now, opposing to crafting, if you get augment schematic copies that you do not want, you can recycle them to get pattern grades according to your augment schematics. So grade 1 schematics will recycle into grade 1 patterns, and you can use these recycled patterns to craft your desired augments. Nothing is a waste in Arrakis. Like shown on screen, the augments will have a range of stats. This means that every time you craft one, you'll get a random stat between those values. You might get 10%, and on the next craft you can get lower, the same, or higher percentage. So, if you are a max only person, you might need to craft multiple of the same augments. And whenever you add an augment to a socket of an item, that decision is now irreversible, meaning you cannot go back. So you will need to craft or purchase a new tier 6 or higher unique weapon or armor to start fresh. And remember, adding an augment also reduces your item total durability by 5. To check your augment schematics, just like your uniques, go to your research menu, and you will have an augments tab, which will be exclusive to the augments, and you can see all of them in here. And since over the time you'll be getting higher graded augments, you can cycle through them by pressing your respective button. You'll have numbers of videos of people showing you what's the meta augments, but I do not like to force people into picking anything, so just experiment and use the ones that you think will help you the most. You can go full glass cannon, full defensive, full comfort, or a mix of everything. And by the way, a reminder that augments can only be placed in MK6 plus uniques. And the other thing that the game keeps reminding you is that Arrakis is a cruel world. So if you are planning to challenge these new testing stations, especially at higher difficulties, keep upgrading your character, be it your character's level, so you will have the most skill points possible, also have a good synergy build between weapons and your skills, keep leveling up your specializations to have a bunch of extra passives, and keep upgrading your augments, and obviously bring the best gear that you can. A couple curiosities about the new testing stations is that even if you do them at level 1, you'll still get tier 6 uniques as a reward in the end. Note that I cannot say for sure if you can get all of the tier 6 uniques at level 1. Some uniques might just drop after X level, or maybe all of them can drop even at level 1. These new testing stations are pretty nice to grab a bunch of bandages and healing kits. Again, even if you select difficulty level 1. So for example, you can enter in the station, choose difficulty level 1, pick up the healings, clear the first NPC room, pick up the healings that are in there, and then you can leave the station into Overland, enter the station again, pick level 1 again, and repeat. This process might be the most efficient way to get healing kits. When a new wave of NPCs is coming, you will hear a siren, plus red lights on the doors where the NPCs are coming from. The bosses do get affected by all of your abilities just like the normal NPCs. So you can use your hook, your voice, and your staggering abilities to interrupt the boss just like you do against the normal NPCs. Your sentinel is not affected by the station's environmental hazards. So for example, if you just want to focus on escaping the boss attacks and the environmental hazards, simply deploy your turret and let it do its job while you are focused in surviving. But of course you do more damage than your turret, so keep that in mind. But hey, this can be a tactic. And of course you can mix your attacks with the sentinel. Another ability that can shine now is your shield wall ability, which in certain boss fights can actually be really nice to help you heal and recover your stamina. Carrying a compactor with you all the time for some of these stations can be very important. Any will do, so you can even bring a crappy one. And as usual, an improvised cutter ray is mandatory to pass through some doors, but if you are super rich you can even use your main cutter ray. Don't forget about the radiation suites, as they provide a decent fire resistance, plus the radiation resist as you know. Just make sure that you bring the MK6 Plus versions for extra armor, or even the new unique version of the Rad suite, as they might be an important element to help you in the stations. Hope you are excited for the chapter 3, as it will surely bring new things for you to do in the game, so go grab more spice for now if you are in need, and refine it into spice melange, and also grab extra resources and a bunch of uniques along the way, as with the introduction of these new testing stations, with increased difficulty, surely you will start dying more times. So now, more than ever, is the time to make sure that you have backup resources to craft extra gears. If you stayed from start to finish, you are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for watching. Consider leaving a like and subscribe. Rox is out.